Hi everyone, today we're going to be using the cosine rule to find an angle. So we're given a triangle here and we are tasked with trying to find out what theta is. Before we do that, let's label this with some A's, B's and C's. So remembering that if we're labeling an angle, we use a capital letter. So let's start at this theta down here. If you're trying to work out an angle, always start your labeling process at that angle. So this angle down here, I'm going to label that as uppercase A. If that's uppercase A, that means that the side opposite to that angle is going to be lowercase a. Now we've got two more side lengths. It doesn't matter if we're labeled the 9 or the 7, B or C, so I generally just like to go left to right. So the one on the left is going to be B, and the one on the right is going to be C. And both of those are lowercase. So remembering all the side lengths must be lowercase. Okay, now let's write our cosine rule. So A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cos of A. Okay, next step would be to substitute in some values. So we've got A squared and it's lowercase a, so that means 4 squared equals B squared, which is 9 squared, plus C squared is 7 squared, minus 2 times 9 times 7 times cos of A, and we could write A, but the original question asked for theta, so let's use theta. So cos of theta. Okay, now for the purpose of the video, I'm going to simplify in a few steps. Once you do a few of these, you can simplify a few terms at once. So let's do the left-hand side. 4 times 4 is 16. 9 times 9 is 81. 7 times 7 is 49. Negative 2 times 9 times 7 is negative 126 times cos of theta. Again, important to remember that the negative 126 is kind of attached to the cos theta. So let's keep that in mind when we're simplifying the next line. So I've got 16 on the left-hand side equals 81 plus 49 is 130 minus 126 cos theta. Okay, let's try and get rid of this 130. So if I've got a positive 130, the inverse of that would be to subtract 130. So on the left-hand side, 16 minus 130 equals 114, and negative 114. So negative 114 equals negative 126 cos of theta. Okay, on the right-hand side, we've got negative 126 times cos theta, or multiplied by cos theta. So I want to divide both sides by negative 126. So if I do negative 114 divided by negative 126, that's going to come out to a decimal, which I don't really want just yet. So I'm just going to leave that as is, equals negative 126 times cos theta divided by negative 126. The negative 126 would cancel out, so we're just going to be left with cos of theta. Almost done. We still have a cos theta on the right hand side, and we want theta by itself. So we need to do the inverse of cos, or the cosine, so the inverse of that would be the inverse cosine. So if we take the inverse, that would be shift cos on your calculator. It's going to look like this. Cos -1, that's the inverse of, I'm just going to rewrite my left-hand side exactly how it was. You could take away the negative signs if we know we're dividing them, but just for the sake of keeping it simple, let's just keep them in. So negative 114 divided by negative 126. And then on the right hand side, we're just going to be left with theta. So last step, let's do this on the calculator. So shift cos, open brackets, negative 114 divided by negative 126, close brackets, equals 25.21. So let's keep the theta on the right hand side. So theta equals 25.21, 25.21, and we're in degrees. There we go.